Each year, tens of thousands gather in the arid region of Zacatecas to undertake the solemn pilgrimage to the historic church of Nuestra Señora de la Asunción. Amid the fervor of whispered prayers and the steady rhythm of many feet on cracked earth, an unsettling presence often emerges. Participants repeatedly recount glimpses of a barefoot man, his worn sandals abandoned like relics, who carries a broken crucifix. Unlike the joyful or noisy pilgrims, this figure moves in eerie silence, a few steps ahead, his lips unmoving in prayer. The sense of time slows with his passage, shadows deepening and the midday sun seeming to dim as if respecting this spectral traveler's solemnity. Witnesses speak with a mix of awe and dread about the barefoot pilgrim's exactness. He is always observed at dawn, mid-March, or twilight, but never during the peak of the day. Maria Lopez, a seasoned participant for over 2 decades, describes the haunting moment she tried to call out to him. He was so close, yet when I reached out, he simply vanished into the dry air like smoke. It felt as though the earth swallowed him whole. Such encounters leave many shaken, their faith intertwined with fear, battling disbelief while facing an undeniable experience that defies explanation. Psychologists and local clergy alike have noted the growing psychological impact on the villagers and pilgrims. For some, the figure represents a penitent presence, a walk with God tinged by sorrow. For others, it evokes an existential fear of unfinished business and lost souls. This pilgrimage, meant to bring peace and renewal, often concludes with silent tears and whispered prayers sent toward a man who embodies suffering and the quest for forgiveness. The question lingers. Why does this figure choose this pilgrimage, year after year? Among the most chilling accounts are those of a local drone operator, Alejandro Fernandez, who dared to capture this apparition. Flying his drone over the pilgrimage route one year, Alejandro's camera caught a dark figure walking serenely ahead of the crowd, clutching what appeared unmistakably to be a broken crucifix. However, when retrieving footage, he discovered to his horror that the segment showing the figure was corrupted beyond repair. Pixelated blobs replaced clear images, as if the presence itself interfered with the technology. Such inexplicable data loss has compounded local legends, pushing even skeptical observers to reconsider. Numerous eyewitness testimonies across generations describe the precise details of the pilgrim's appearance. Worn, barefoot feet, traditional peasant garb faded and tattered, and a shattered crucifix held tightly in trembling hands. Father Miguel Angel Perez, a local priest, recalls, "When I first saw the accounts, I was skeptical. But the number of sightings, all matching so closely, suggested something beyond mere folklore." Over the years, he and other clergy have tried to reach out in prayer and blessing, yet the figure remains untouchable, as if caught between earthly flesh and a spirit's sorrow. The psychological toll on pilgrims who encounter the figure remains significant. While some report a profound spiritual awakening prompted by the encounter, others describe overwhelming feelings of dread and unresolved guilt surfacing during the pilgrimage. Hearing the accounts of lost pilgrims, many confess to sleepless nights, haunted dreams of being forever pursued by silent footsteps, embodying the human struggle to find peace before the end. During an investigation into the growing legend, Father Miguel Angel and local historians discovered an aged, dust-covered ledger in the hidden archives of the Nuestra Señora de la Asunción Church. Dated 1901, the ledger contained the log of that year's pilgrimage, listing pilgrims and significant events. Among the entries, a tragic account stood out. A man named Tomás Hidalgo, described as a devout but physically frail participant, collapsed from exhaustion while clutching a crucifix during the early hours of the journey. The ledger noted his death at the site, the crucifix broken but still tight in his grip, under the scorching sun that beat down mercilessly on the path. This entry resonated deeply with modern sighting descriptions, leading to a powerful hypothesis that the barefoot figure is the restless spirit of Tomás Hidalgo. His devotion, coupled with a harrowing death mid-pilgrimage, painted a picture of a soul trapped between worlds, driven by a desperate need to complete his spiritual quest or seek forgiveness not granted in life. Locals recount that every year, The number of sightings grows, as if the pilgrims' anguish gains strength and visibility through collective memory and faith. The emotional weight of the ledger's discovery has deeply affected the community, blending sorrow with reverence. Some see Tomas as a symbol of unshakable faith battling physical limits. Others interpret his restless spirit as a warning of the dangerous extremes of spiritual zeal. Regardless, his story has imbued the pilgrimage with a deeper, more haunting significance, transforming it from a mere religious rite to a corridor where the veil between life and death thins palpably. Over the decades since the ledger's discovery, the barefoot pilgrim has transitioned from whispered folklore into an acknowledged paranormal presence by many in Zacatecas. Annual reports from pilgrims, journalists, and paranormal investigators have documented an increase in sightings, often describing encounters marked by chilled air, sudden silences, and inexplicable sensations of presence. This surge has fostered a dual-edged legacy, inviting faith and reverence while also stoking anxiety and fear. Local scholars and paranormal researchers have attempted to examine the phenomenon scientifically, organizing field studies during pilgrimages. However, efforts are routinely thwarted by technical failures and atmospheric interference, eerily echoing Alejandro Fernandez's corrupted drone footage. Interviews with pilgrims frequently reveal psychological states colored by a profound sense of grief and hope intertwined. Manuel Ortega, a paranormal investigator, states, "The pilgrims bring with them not just their bodies, but the collective sorrow and faith of generations, giving the apparition a shape and sorrow it sustains." Rituals and pilgrim practices have adapted alongside the illusion. Some pilgrims now intentionally leave small broken crucifixes or bare their feet along the path as offerings or signs of solidarity with the unseen wanderer. These rites deepen the emotional texture of the journey, blurring the lines between living and dead, faith and fear. For many, the legend embodies an ongoing spiritual conversation about forgiveness, endurance, and human frailty that transcends mere ghost story. Today, the barefoot pilgrim is more than a ghost story. He is a profound symbol woven into Zacatecas' cultural and spiritual identity. His legend challenges the living to consider the nature of forgiveness and unfinished journeys. Psychologists note how collective memory and shared trauma can manifest apparitions that embody communal hopes and fears, yet the emotional power of the pilgrim's visage transcends clinical explanation, touching the mystic and inexplicable. Paranormal researchers and theologians alike debate the pilgrim's origin and purpose. Is he a soul condemned to wander until absolution? A spectral reminder of human endurance and faith? Or a mysterious guardian spirit guiding the pilgrims gently along their path? These questions fuel ongoing investigations and pilgrim testimonies, reinforcing an ambivalent mix of curiosity, dread, and reverence that envelops the event each year. The tale of the disappearing pilgrim continues to resonate deeply amid a contemporary world awash with rapid change and secular skepticism. In Zacatecas, the pilgrimage remains a liminal space where the boundary between the seen and unseen breathes with quiet intensity. Those who walk the trail carry within them the weight of history and hope, forever shadowed by a silent figure, barefoot, broken crucifix in hand, praying for a forgiveness that may or may not ever come. And as the sun sets over the dusty horizon, the pilgrim steps forward once again, vanishing into the dusk, a haunting reminder of the mysteries that walk between worlds.